They performed an emergency C-section on a dead pregnant woman to save her unborn baby. That day, 2 paramedics had just failed a rescue.
What about the baby?
They then realized the woman was 8 months pregnant. The paramedic's face changed instantly. She grabbed a stethoscope and checked quickly.
Okay, I feel movement. And a heartbeat. Yeah. Okay, the baby is alive. Okay. Push up again. Okay. I thought you said she was gone.
They quickly injected epinephrine and started chest compressions. Even though the mother was dead, they needed blood to keep flowing to the baby. But support would take 15 minutes to arrive. They knew the baby would not last that long. The baby's heartbeat was slowing down. They had to perform a C-section on the spot. The surgery was far beyond their duty. But to save the child, nothing else mattered. They quickly prepared for surgery. The paramedic picked up the scalpel and cut slowly and carefully, afraid to hurt the baby. Luckily, the procedure went smoothly. The baby was successfully delivered. But the baby's face was purple, and there was no breathing. The 2 paramedics started rescue immediately. One gave oxygen. The other performed chest compressions. Thankfully, the baby's life was not over. After non-stop effort, a loud cry finally broke the silence. All 3 people at the scene let out a deep sigh of relief.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Have you ever seen manhole covers raining from the sky? One manhole cover was stuck in a car windshield. The driver's upper body was trapped, and he was struggling to breathe. There was also a child in the car. Hearing the child call him, the man coughed in pain. Firefighters forced the door open and carried the child out. But suddenly, another sewer exploded. A manhole cover blasted into the air. The captain quickly reported to headquarters. At the same time, firefighters raced to rescue the driver. They opened the door, then pulled the manhole cover out of the windshield. The man was safely moved onto a stretcher, but the rescue was not over. The captain ordered teams of 2 to guard each sewer with fire extinguishers. On his signal, everyone sprayed into the sewer openings.
Power is down.
Fire those extinguishers!
Soon, the fire was put out. The manhole danger was finally gone. The man kept asking about his son. He said his wife had died, and only the 2 of them were left. The paramedic felt something was wrong. Earlier, the boy had said they were going to his mom's house. Her instincts told her something wasn't right. Soon, the sheriff arrived and said the boy's mother had reported a kidnapping. Everyone was shocked. They rushed to the man's hospital floor, but he had already checked out with the child. They ran outside and saw him trying to take a taxi. The driver sensed something was wrong and refused to open the door. The man was arrested for kidnapping his own son, but he claimed his wife had a drug problem and mental issues. He said she only cared about herself, not the child. The paramedic didn't fully believe him. After he was taken away, the mother came to pick up her son. She thanked them and said her husband was sick, but a small action caught the paramedic's attention. She directly questioned whether the mother was using drugs.
Excuse me? I'm asking you, are you on something?
How dare you? How dare you in front of my son who was just put through the most traumatic experience of his life?
All right, ma'am, we're done here.
So, who do you think is lying, the husband or the wife? This man, reeking of roasted meat, never imagined that coming to a wedding would almost turn him into barbecue himself. Paramedics cut open his burned clothes and pried his mouth open. After great effort, they finally got a breathing tube into his mouth. At a wedding party, the DJ illegally set off fireworks inside a tent, triggering a massive fire. Many people were trapped inside. The rescue team moved in immediately. Crackling flames mixed with desperate cries for help. The entire tent felt like hell. Rescuers soon found several children. Then, in one corner, they pulled out the bride. She cried in despair. Her husband was nowhere to be found. As more victims were rescued, the search area kept shrinking. Finally, in a corner, they found the unconscious groom. His pulse was extremely weak, but luckily, he was found in time. After emergency oxygen, he regained consciousness. The bride burst into tears of relief.
Got a victim coming out! Pretty bad shape!
Hey, Michelle, get this smoke inhalation.
Down.
But the man who was burned outside and cooked inside wasn't that lucky. The team rushed him to the hospital. The smell of grilled meat lingered all the way. Now it's all up to luck. A little girl crashed a car into a streetlight. When the door opened, everyone froze. No one expected the driver to be a child under 120 months old. Firefighters cut the seatbelt and called paramedics. Even more shocking, her parents were drunk in the back seat. They were pulled out, barely standing. A strong smell of alcohol filled the air. They were clearly wasted. Police arrived quickly. After checking the situation, they handcuffed the parents. The girl was the youngest in the family, and the only one still sober. She only said her stomach hurt. Firefighters put her on a stretcher, ready to go to the hospital. Seeing her parents arrested, she panicked and asked, The next second, her eyes rolled back. She passed out. Paramedics saw red marks on her shoulder. The seatbelt likely caused a lung contusion. Further checks showed the airbag impact broke her ribs, and a rib likely punctured her lung.
Kaylee! Mommy loves you!
Do people like that even deserve to say I love you? An angry firefighter yelled at them.
Hey, come on. Disgusting. You all right?
The world's rough enough. Your own parents shouldn't be making it rougher. I'm fine. Just got my knee in up, but I'm fine.
The world is already cruel. Parents should not make it worse. This girl is truly heartbreaking.
Hey, Wolanski. We got Truck 81 Squad 3 here. Just let us know where you want us.
Okay, stand by. I'm gonna get this driver stabilized. He's never gonna need...
Wolanski! Get out of there!
The others rushed over to help. Some held the back of the truck. Others went to get the airbags. Luckily, the gap between the steps was big enough. Otherwise, the firefighter could have been crushed. They decided to try pulling him out directly. Several people pulled with all their strength, but he didn't move at all. Now, they could only rely on the airbags.
Oh, it's getting harder to breathe.
Keep telling you, Wolanski. Lay off the donuts.
Don't make me laugh. I'll break a rib.
What's happening up there? Sorry, Lieutenant! Get it together, 81, what the hell?
Easy, Lepetsky. It was nobody's fault.
The people at the back lost control, and the truck dropped a few more centimeters. The hinge was finally in place, so they quickly switched from manpower to machinery. As the safety airbags were set up and inflated, the truck slowly became stable. After enough space was created, several firefighters worked together to pull him out. He wasn't seriously injured. Maybe the extra fat saved him.
Okay, don't worry about me. Take care of the driver. Thank you.
He's stabilized. All yours, guys.
Then, they rescued the truck driver, too. The operation finally ended safely. The woman lay on the ground, shaking non-stop. She didn't expect to almost die during rescue. Not long ago, paramedics received a call and rushed to a restaurant kitchen.
Fire department!
Back here!
Call for an ambulance?
Yeah, come on.
They saw a woman lying on the floor, arms raised like a lucky cat, twitching non-stop. She had been like this for more than 10 minutes. The paramedics' first goal was to calm her down to stop her from biting her tongue. They injected the woman with a sedative. As the drug went in, the woman became completely still. Even her last breath was gone.
She's not breathing. Is this what you gave her? Yes. It's morphine.
The morphine suppressed her breathing. An experienced teammate quickly took out a vial of naloxone. As the drug was administered, the woman finally woke up. They all let out a sigh of relief. Her life wasn't meant to end yet.
She gonna be okay?
She'll be fine.
She survived and was then sent to the hospital.
You check the label. You always check the label. Relax. Everything turned out fine.
Her attitude shocked her teammates. Would you trust your life to someone like this?